Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State, there's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
57% chance of winning a PGA Tour major. Would I be wrong by saying I want to invest in the no on Scottie Scheffler? And that $100 investment would pay back $213 here. Everybody thinks Scottie's going to win. It's like 100 golfers in those fields each and every week in the majors, the best golfers in the world. I'm going against the grain, Joe. Give me the no on Scottie Scheffler.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. And for the third time this week, under 40 degrees in our studio, but I'm the leader of men. I lead from the front, not from behind, although some of you probably want me to because I got it like that. And I'm here today. I've got a lot of mouths to feed today, so we will do a show, and I will do my best to explain sports to those of you who so clearly need me in your lives to explain how sports work. Good morning, Tyrone. How are you today?
You know, this is
unworking. It's unsafe working conditions. Many will be blamed. I was told an hour and a half ago, no worry, Craigie, we're on it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes after that, I was told, we're getting space heaters. So you and Tyrone don't risk getting vitiligo while you're here and die the way Michael Jackson did. And yet here I am, 37 degrees in the studio. To be fair, that's about 40 degrees warmer than it is outside, but not conducive to any type of safe or pleasant work environment. So that's our lot in life.
Yeah, this is the coldest I've ever been at work, and I was in Alaska for 6 months.
6 months you lived in Alaska on a fishing boat. I remember that.
That's right, and this is still colder than that, but we soldier on.
Tyrone is viewed, I don't want to tell stories about you without your permission, but in a small village in Alaska that is known by the Eskimo name of Neep Nop, I don't know what that translates to.
I don't know what it's translates to, but that's what it's called.
Tyrone is the Jackie Robinson of salmon fishing.
I am.
Yes.
First one ever out there.
Yeah.
I'm also the Jackie Robinson of skiing, so every black person, if you see him, tell them to thank me.
You're
You're welcome. I'm the guy.
First guy to ski slalom.
And the Jackie Robinson of camping. Now, for some of you out there that said, I saw a black person in the tent, that was a homeless man. Mine was on purpose. Okay, Jackie Robinson of camping.
Yeah, hold on a sec. You did also tell me earlier this morning that you will not spend a night in a place where your screams for help would not be heard.
Yes. I didn't go camping alone. Okay. You think I'm crazy? Okay. No, I don't do that. Yes. But that is another thing.
Yeah.
A word to the wise for any black people that might be viewing or listening. Never move to a place where they can't hear you scream. It's not safe. They always have to be able to hear you scream.
There's a small little island off the coast of Maine that came up on my Twitter account today.
Yeah.
That is for sale. It's just over an acre large, no electricity, no running water.
Yeah.
There's a small little, no joke, 50 square foot cabin somebody built.
Yeah.
And obviously you need some kind of boat to get there, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's on the island are seagulls and bald eagles.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's like $150,000 to buy the entire island. And I was like, well, that'd be so cool, to own my own island.
That's right.
Right? Get a mortgage on the $150, $600 a month for the next 30 years. I have an island.
Yes.
And Tyrone said, I'm not going to that island.
No.
And I said, why are you not going to the island? What if I own the island? He goes, because I don't go to a place where they can't hear me scream.
That's right. Nothing good happens to a black person if you go to a place where they can't hear you scream, okay? Nothing good happens, okay? Now, I encourage Craig and other people of the same hue to go. We stay away, you go. That's the rule. That is the rule with that kind of geography.
Look, I can't argue it, but if I go, you're welcome to come with me.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll have some sort of alert. We'll work it out. Once you get the cell tower up.
But you know what's funny? I was reading the thing about the island, and it said no electricity, no running water, but cell service was there.
All right, so
you got
call
that.
911.
Let's get it. I want to get into a little bit more of this Bill Belichick Hall of Fame stuff because it's funny how the narrative changes as people that are involved in the voting, suddenly get their feelings hurt.
Yeah.
So the Pro Football Hall of Fame puts out a statement yesterday, and I'm going to paraphrase it, not worth reading it. Because they're aware of the allegations that Bill Polian or Robert Kraft or others were trying to sway the voters to make sure that Bill Belichick had to pay his penance, their words, not mine, for his cheating scandals, right?
That's right.
They came out and they said, if we find out that any member of the 50 men and women that get to vote for this Hall of Fame were being swayed or trying to sway others to voting against their conscience, that kind of thing, we take that very seriously, and we will not allow that to happen. And if we do find that did happen, we will take away their voting rights. And everyone's like, that's all that's ever happened.
That's every time.
Every time they vote, there are trades made, there are deals made. You vote for my guy, I'll vote for your guy. And then a voter, and I'm blacking out his name, I apologize for that. It's just too cold to think straight in the studio today. Came out and said, I'm a voter, and I did not vote for Bill Belichick. And he showed us a ballot.
Yep.
He said, I also did not vote for Robert Kraft.
That's right.
And he had a very interesting take on it. He goes, look, there's only 5 people that we get to choose from. This is not the general election for the Hall of Fame. This is an added one that was added a couple years ago so that if there were a veteran player, from yesteryear, that we can all agree, man, that guy got passed over unfairly, whether it's posthumously or the guy's still alive.
That's right.
We can right a wrong.
Right.
And to be fair, in every sport, there's always a guy or two. There's not 100 guys, but there's a couple guys along the way that maybe got passed over because, every year that they were eligible, a new great player that was better than them had to get voted in, and they just kept kind of missing the mark. I have no issue with that. I believe that's factual.
I agree.
All right. So, by the way, I think there are contributors to sports that didn't play the game, but coached the game, broadcasted the game, owned a team, that also are deserving of a spot in the Hall of Fame. I have no issue with that at all. So this guy came out and said, look, I'm not telling you that I don't think Bill Belichick belongs in the Hall of Fame. I'm not telling you that I don't think Robert Kraft belongs in the Hall of Fame. But I feel very strongly that these 3 players, L.C. Greenwood from the Steel Curtain in the 70s, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Anderson, the first great quarterback the Bengals ever had, who was an MVP, albeit back in 1981. And the third guy was Roger Craig, who was a great running back for all 4 championships that the Niners won with Joe Montana. First guy to have 1,000 yards rushing and receiving. And his career speaks for itself, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. So this one particular voter, I give a lot of credit to. He's telling you, I'm one of those guys. I did not vote for Bill Belichick. Now, the rule, of course, is you're only allowed to vote for 3. You can't vote for all 5. All right, because we don't want 20 guys getting in the Hall of Fame every year. And he said, I thought it was more important that those 3 former players got their moment in the light to become Hall of Famers. And I'll be fair about it. I had not considered that an option until this voter said that's what he was thinking when he voted. I've got no problem with that. And I applaud the fact that the guy wasn't, hiding from the public view. He wasn't trying to, I know he doesn't want to be the story, but I like the fact that the guy owned it, explained it, and I accept it.
Yeah, I accept it as well. Now, because of my age, the only player I really remember is Roger Craig.
Yeah, you never saw Kenny play because he played in the 80s.
Yeah.
Early to mid 80s.
Yeah, I remember Boomer from the Bengals. I don't remember.
Yeah. So Boomer went to his Super Bowl, I want to say 89.
Yes,
so
I remember that.
Almost a full decade after Kenny went with the Bengals as well.
Yeah, I remember that fully. But I will say, Roger Craig, even though I was a kid, did far more for me, I'm talking about as a football fan, than Belichick did or any owner has, because I watched Roger Craig. So if someone wants to make the argument, player above owner or coach,
Fair
I'm
argument.
fine with it. Yes, Belichick will get in and deserves it. Yes, Kraft will get in and deserves it. But we pay, whether it's with our time or with our money, to watch the players, not the coaches and the owners.
Absolutely right. Now, Bill Belichick transcended that.
Yes.
Because of, the hoodies and the sleeves and, the fact that he won so many, went to so many Super Bowls. So he's probably the only coach in my lifetime that really transcended that, where the guy on the sideline was the story as much as the guy throwing the ball or carrying the ball. But look, I didn't get to see L.C. Greenwood play a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I was born in '69, so I know who he is.
Right.
I've seen all the highlights of him. I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old when L.C. Greenwood was doing his thing. So I can look back on his career with some reverence. And I wouldn't argue if you're going to put a lot of those guys from that Steel Curtain team in, he should certainly be one of them.
Right.
I support that argument, but it's kind of a flawed system. And it should be a flawed system because the Hall of Fame should mean something.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it means less if L.C. Greenwood or Roger Craig or Kenny Anderson get in. But because they have been chosen over a guy that we all agree should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer,
Of course.
it kind of weakens their admission if they do get in. And I feel bad for those guys because that's going to be the story. They got in, but he didn't.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now at 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. There's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Hey, daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
In reality, you and I could coach Josh Allen to 11 wins. Like, it's not that monumental of a task, right? I mean, Josh Allen alone gives you 9, if not 10 wins, just because he's on the field.
Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Let's stay on the Hall of Fame because I'm not sure how this happens, but these leaks get out. Like, if I'm the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I'd want to know who announced that Bill Belichick wasn't getting in.
Right.
Because they're the only people that know. So another one of those announcements happened yesterday. And I'm not going to lie to you, I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one because it gives me something to make fun of our producer, Ethan, about.
Yeah.
Because Ethan is a Giants apologist, okay?
Yes, he is.
The Giants are this, the Giants are that, John Harbaugh's this. Meanwhile, you lost the coach to the Cleveland Browns, you losers. In any event, it did get leaked out yesterday. And again, I'd love to know who's leaking this out. There can't be more than 3 or 4 dudes who know the results of the Hall of Fame voting before it's announced. They have to work for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
Or be the senior voter that gets to tally all the votes up. But it was announced yesterday, or I should say it was leaked yesterday, that Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And part of that is because I guess Drew Brees is in this year's class.
He is.
And that's my point about the 3 guys that are up for the old-timers vote. And that is every single year, another guy's going to be eligible that we can't say no to.
Right.
Right? There's Eli Manning right there with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hutton looking from afar because they have to buy a ticket to go to Canton, Ohio. And I would say this. I do believe the day is going to come when Eli Manning gets in.
I agree.
I'm glad that day was not today. I'm glad that day was not a year ago because I didn't think Eli Manning should have been blessed with a first ballot Hall of Fame induction. That was last year, and he wasn't. and I don't think that he should be a second ballot Hall of Famer because, well, I do think he's going to get in, and I've been very clear. Once a guy gets in the Hall of Fame, I congratulate him.
Right.
I'm not one of these guys that goes, oh, come on, man. I can't believe he's in the Hall of Fame.
That's another thing Ethan does. Ethan does that big before every show.
He's a bitter Giants fan.
Yeah.
And most days are Mondays to him. He's miserable on Mondays.
Yeah.
The Bengals sang a song about Ethan. It's just another miserable Monday.
Manic Monday, yeah. But I get the point.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I didn't know if you knew.
Thanks. I mean, and you used to.
Prince wrote it.
And you used to do stand-up. Yes. I mean, is that what you do when a comedian tells an obvious joke? Do you correct them from your seat in the crowd?
It's tough.
Is that what you do?
It's tough with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know if you're coming or going. I don't know.
You don't think I know the song's called Manic Monday?
I don't know.
And I was making a point to support you and I against the producer, Ethan, on his miserable Mondays.
It's probably.
You didn't put two and two
That's
together.
on me. That's on me.
Of course it's on you. Man, you don't even know karate.
He don't even know karate. It's ridiculous. It's a still ridiculous premise to that stupid
Macchio.
movie. Punk-ass Ralph Macchio. And then he did a whole other sitcom, another show about it, and still didn't bother to take one karate class.
Because he only knows one role. That's it. Danielson. That's the only role the guy can play. He's a friend of mine. You know that.
Yes.
So, the reason I'm kind of happy about it is because it allows me to do what a lot of Giant fans dislike. And apparently I'm at war with Giant fans. I don't know why. All I said yesterday was you should be a little bit embarrassed that you lost Todd Monken to the Cleveland Browns.
He's the head coach.
I'm not sure why Giant fans found that objectionable. You did.
You know why. You're
Why?
picking with the Giants fan. Because would you rather be the main guy or a cog in the wheel? You want to be the main guy? He's the main guy in Cleveland.
I think I'd rather be the offensive coordinator of the Giants with John Harbaugh than the head coach of a team that Jimmy Haslam owns. That's why.
I hear what you say, but most people would rather be number one than number 2 or 3.
Speaking of the Browns real quick, I found a poster child for desperation.
Oh, boy.
I don't know, did you see this?
No.
Yeah, this is great. So it used to be a colleague of mine over at FS1.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Acho.
Oh,
who,
yeah.
I think he thought I meet him once, twice, whatever it was. I think he came out of the studio with Shady, who I adore. Love Shady.
I want to say out loud, not a fan of Emmanuel Acho.
That's fine.
And when it comes to sports.
Because he was an Eagle for like a minute?
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. And as far as sports go, I know he's done other things.
Yeah.
As far as sports,
Yeah.
the next interesting thing he says will be his first.
Yeah, so look, I usually don't take shots at other broadcasters. I leave their stupidity alone.
Yeah.
Because I recognize desperation when I see it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather people talk about my takes or your takes. I usually don't comment on other people's takes.
Yeah.
But he said something that was just so stupid. And he's a really bright guy, by the way. Like, he's very, very smart.
Which is troubling.
But he went on this podcast that I guess nobody's downloading or watching.
It's his.
I don't know. Called The Speakeasy.
It's his podcast.
Yeah, it's his, but that's why no one watches it. And he came out and he said something to the effect of, Shadur Sanders should not listen to the direction or coaching of Todd Monken.
That's right.
Because what's Todd Monken ever done in the NFL? And he actually said that with a straight face.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's interesting. So you're telling a guy who statistically was the single worst quarterback in the last 25 years based on guys with 200 pass attempts or more, which came out yesterday with an 18.9 quarterback rating, and you're telling him to disrespect his new head coach, who, by the way, happens to be an offensive guru who might get the most out of Shadur, where he becomes a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly.
He didn't have that coaching last year.
He did not.
With Kevin Stefanski and the rest of the Browns coaching staff. And your first reaction is he shouldn't listen to Todd Monken. Look, I understand that there are a lot of people out there that love Deion Sanders. I do too.
I do.
One of my favorite athletes of all time.
Yes.
And I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are trying to curry favor to Deion. That's where I draw the line. I'm going to talk about things honestly and objectively, whether you're my friend or not.
Yeah.
That's why I have friends, because they know I'm not going to sugarcoat crap. When it's bad, I say it's bad. When it's good, I say you're good.
Yeah.
But there are still members of the media, and I'm not sure if it's a black-white thing. I think for some it might be. I can't speak that for Emmanuel.
I don't think it's with him.
I just think it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Todd Monken is a proven coach. He has coached in the NFL before, quite famously, for the Kitchens-led Cleveland Browns many years ago. He was a very well thought of coordinator at the collegiate level. And if you go talk to Lamar Jackson's best year, one of his 2 MVP years, was with Todd Monken as his offensive coordinator.
Yes.
So Todd Monken's resume speaks for itself.
It absolutely does.
To come out and say that Shedeur Sanders shouldn't listen to Todd Monken because what's Todd Monken ever done? I would say to Emmanuel, who I like and is a nice guy and a very bright guy, why should we watch your podcast? What have you ever done in the podcast world that makes you a voice I should listen to?
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
And I don't like broadcaster on broadcaster crime.
Right.
But that was just beyond the pale of stupidity, and it's just desperation. You know, that's when people talk about, shock jocks or, trying to get engagement for clicks. That's now the poster child of being desperate for views. I don't have that problem. I get lots of views.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those 3 dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
By the way, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. The guys were just reminding me that when I did work with Emmanuel Acho, we both got blown out, I think at the same time, right?
Yes.
They canceled both shows at the same time?
Yes.
That's worked out well.
And Joy.
Yeah, and Joy Taylor as well.
Yeah.
He had a tagline for the show. What was the name of his show? Undisputed? Or what was the name of that show?
The facility.
Oh, yeah, the
it was
facility.
all the players. All the players.
Yeah, the facility. And by the way, I like Chase. He seems like a good dude. And I love
Shady.
Shady's my guy.
Love Shady.
No, but his tagline was, "Don't just watch football, learn football." Or not.
Yeah. Just watch football.
Quick question for you, Tyrone, because Ethan and I were having an argument about this earlier today. And I like to win arguments, as you know.
Of course.
But you like to win them also, so we're kind of in the same boat on this one.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out, and you can talk about it out loud as we discuss it back and forth.
Okay.
So when the conversation ends, you can only give me one on each side.
Okay.
But if you want to out loud discuss people that you'd consider, let's have this conversation and thought processing out loud.
Okay.
The question was, all right, in all the sports movies that have ever happened and that we've seen,
okay,
if you had to pick the one actor that played an athlete that you would say, I bought the fact that guy was the athlete.
Okay.
And then one guy who played an athlete and you were like, that guy's not an athlete.
Okay.
You got to pick one on each side.
Okay.
Because we had a big debate about this morning over hot chocolate.
Okay,
Yeah.
Now, as far as being believable.
Yes.
Now, when I think about it, I think about Omar Epps.
Okay.
Because
Which movie?
he was in Major League 2, but it doesn't stop there. The Program.
First off,
hold on.
Nobody watched Major League 2.
No one watched it in the theaters. Everyone's seen it since. It's been out for 30 years. Everyone's seen it. All right. He's played a baseball player.
Yeah.
He played a running back, believably, in the program.
The program with Jimmy Kahn, right?
He played an college and NBA player in Love and Basketball.
Oh, I don't remember that one. Okay.
Yeah, he played with Sanaa Lathan. That one was a hit movie at the time.
Yeah.
So because he's done 3 different sports.
You going Omar Epps?
I go Omar Epps for believable. He looked passable in all of them.
Okay.
Now, because of keeping in the Major League.
Now, is that a final answer? You're going final answer, Alex? Omar Epps?
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
I want to get to one that was completely unbelievable because it's related to Major League, the franchise.
Go ahead.
Wesley Snipes, completely unbelievable as a baseball player.
That's right.
And completely unbelievable in White Men Can't
Stop
Jump.
there for a second. In Major League, and I was just reading about this yesterday, which prompted our conversation.
Yes.
The Wesley Snipes, remember when he kind of wakes up late?
Yeah.
And they're doing the sprints down the first base line?
He passes everybody.
And he passes everybody?
Yeah.
So they filmed that in slow motion because apparently Wesley Snipes is a slow, you know what?
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's completely unbelievable as a basketball player in White Men Can't Jump.
Can't play basketball to save his life.
At all. Woody
Yes.
can play.
Yes,
he
can.
couldn't. Therefore, my final answer for not being realistic,
Go ahead.
Wesley Snipes.
And by the way, that was my final answer also.
Yes, for not being able to play.
Ethan's final answer for a guy that didn't play the role of an actual athlete, say Major League, say a movie. He said Corbin Burnson as the third baseman of the Indians.
He was
and
also.
by the way,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Now also, but if we Charlie
Yeah.
Sheen, super believable as a pitcher.
that's not who I chose, but yes, he was.
And threw north of 80 miles per hour.
Okay, yeah.
He admitted he did
he
steroids.
looked like he could actually play baseball.
He did steroids and threw over 80 miles per hour on steroids.
Is your final answer for the one guy? Are you going Omar Epps? Is that your final answer?
Well, see, my
Who else
issue
is
is
being considered?
not a lot of people have watched those movies, even though 2 of them were hits.
Yes.
All right. Now, as far as guys that look believable.
Okay, let me throw a guy your way.
Yeah.
Just for consideration. And I'm not a huge fan of his, but I've probably watched every movie he's ever done.
Okay.
Kevin Costner is believable as a baseball player.
He is.
He was believable
as
when
a golfer.
he was a catcher.
Yes.
In Bull Durham.
Yes.
He was believable as a pitcher in For Love of the Game as Billy Chappell.
Yep.
Right? As a baseball player, I think Kevin Costner is actually very believable.
Very believable.
Yeah.
Very believable. He did 2 sports.
And I think if you stay baseball, I think Robert Redford in The Natural was
swing.
very believable.
Really good swing.
Yeah.
Really good swing.
So
I'm going to say Costner because everyone's seen those movies.
Over Omar Epps.
Over Omar Epps, although Omar Epps believable in 3 different sports.
I think Kevin Costner's probably my guy.
All right.
I think Kevin Costner, and I was even trying to think, like, if I went back and watched The Longest Yard, no. Like Adam Sandler in the new version of it, Burt Reynolds played football at Florida State, more believable the original. But I think if you look at Bull Durham, and you look at For Love of the Game, 2 different positions, swung a bat, had to throw a ball. I think Kevin Costner is the most believable actor as an athlete. And I think Wesley Snipes is not even debatably the single worst.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. And I feel bad for Wesley because he's always around other people who can play.
Yeah, wait till you hear who Ethan picked for the athlete that was the best actor that was the best athlete. It's going to blow your mind. We'll get to that right after this.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's next team. Who would thought we'd ever be saying that? The guy should be minted in Milwaukee and never want to leave. The only problem is they can't surround him with the talent that he wants. Stays with Milwaukee or retires. He's actually trading at a 71% chance here. The favorite outside of Milwaukee, it's the New York Knicks at 15%.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
Stack enough wins to avoid a brutal matchup path, and when Giannis gets back full burst, they got to get him back on the floor and back on the floor healthy. The Bucks season won't be defined by the game Giannis misses. It'll be defined whether Milwaukee protects him from himself and gets him back in April if he's still a part of the team.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
ESPN are not going to take shots or criticize him. People on Fox are not going to take shots and criticize him. But McVay had a bad game. Sean Payton had a bad game. And that's just a fact. Like, when they go back and review what took place in key spots of that game, Sean Payton cost the Broncos points and Sean McVay cost the Rams points. Those are the first two people that should be blamed.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The guys are having a debate with me about Nicolette Sheridan when she was allegedly dating JFK Jr.
They were dating.
Right?
Yes.
But she must have been like 50 years old when they were dating.
No, she's
old.
She's 3 years younger than him.
No way.
I'm looking it up. When he unfortunately passed, he was born in 1960.
Did she sleep with Terrell Owens in that commercial?
Man, no. But I'll tell you what, a lot of Caucasian people called in and were very furious about it. Real talk at the time. No, JFK Jr. was born in 1960. She was born in 63.
He was older than her?
Yes, they were age appropriate.
Someone's got to show me a picture of Nicolette Sheridan younger.
Yeah, she was a good-looking woman. I don't know why you're trying to bash this one. Off the air, people that don't realize Craig has been bashing this woman for about 2 months now for no reason.
Because I only think of her from Desperate Housewives.
Well,
I didn't know Nicolette Sheridan before that. I thought she was born old.
You one of those?
Yo, some people just look old all the time.
That's men. That's always men that are born old.
Oh, Nicolette Sheridan.
Born in 63. In England.
Well, that's a good picture of her, but I never saw that. That's a
she's
good
British.
picture of her. I never saw that.
See?
Nah, I see. Some people just born with old face.
She wasn't
Nicolette
old.
Sheridan was old face.
No, she wasn't.
In my
her
world,
day.
she was.
In her day.
Yeah. Was she on Dynasty back in the day?
I think it was Knots
Nicolette
Landing.
Sheridan and
Which one was she on?
Knots Landing?
I don't. She was on one of them.
Oh, yeah. I used to like those shows back in the day.
Yeah, it was Knots Landing.
You don't know.
What do you mean? She was on Knots Landing from 86 to 93.
Hold on, I can check her now. Knots Landing. Wilford
Wilford
Brimley had
yes.
old face too.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
He always said, yeah.
He had diabetes as a 6-year-old.
Right.
Fat little chubby kid he was.
Yeah, when he was in Cocoon, I believe he was still in his 30s.
No, you have to. If you're going to talk about Wilford
he was
Brimley,
in his 30s.
Nah, let's get it right. If we're going to do Wilford Brimley, there's two things to say about Wilford Brimley. He was the Quaker Oats guy.
He was.
And then he was the guy, the investigator in the firm.
He was.
Yeah.
But
that's Wilford Brimley right there.
You got to
remember,
remember,
a bad mamma jamma.
There were people in Cocoon that won Oscars. It was a big movie.
In Cocoon?
Cocoon was a big movie.
Them old dudes? Cocoon did win an Oscar.
Somebody in Cocoon won an Oscar.
No.
All right. No. Before I check, can we get a $1,000 bet? Not you, Craig.
I don't bet.
Not you.
I don't bet.
Hey, Ethan, you want to bet?
He don't have $1,000 to bet.
All right,
on
$100. I am correct. I am correct.
Let me guess.
John Amici won.
John Amici won an Oscar
And you
for
know who
Trading Places.
He beat the Julia Roberts brother. That's who he beat.
Eric Roberts?
Yeah, Eric Roberts said
What
he
was
was
he
supposed to
up
win.
for?
I forget. He was supposed to win for that.
Was that
I remember the folklore.
Oh, that might have been Pope of Greenwich Village. Yeah, that could have been that. Yeah, right? Don
Eric
Amici
Roberts.
won an Oscar for Cocoon?
Yes, because he passed away.
In Cocoon he dies?
He died in real life before
No, he's
Cocoon.
alive. He's alive, Don Amici. He may have died in a movie, but that's fake. It's a movie, Tyrone. Just because you die in a movie don't mean you die in real life. Don Amici's like 37 years old. He just has old face. He's one of those guys born with old face, like Rickley Prune face.
Now, what about the Don Amici family? I happen to know that the Don Amici family, okay, they're big fans of the show.
Yes, they are.
And he passed away 30-some years ago.
Well, then they're probably over it by now then, right?
Yeah, but not near opening up old wounds.
Like I'm saying, like They're not going to be mad at me today if I got it wrong from 30 years ago, right?
Come on, man.
I'm just saying. Don Amici once played a hockey player. Ethan said he was the best guy to ever play an athlete in any movie ever. Yeah, it was. It was called, I think the movie was called Wayne Gretzky at the Gates, as opposed to Skates, something like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me just finish the Eli Manning thought because you guys interrupted me rudely about that. By the way, there's 3 guys staring at me right now who claim to be fixing the temperature in here, but all they keep doing is looking up.
It has gotten 1 degree warmer since the show, but that's
you're not
us.
moving around.
That's us, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Eli Manning, spot the lie here, okay?
Uh-huh.
Eli Manning does not have a single playoff win in a non-Super Bowl year. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact, okay. Eli Manning at no point in his career was thought of as a top 5 quarterback while playing. Fact or fiction?
That is fact that there were many lists, because I went back and checked, they had Donovan McNabb, not Hall of Famer, ranked above him for the majority of their careers, both in the NFC.
Fair ranking.
And that's what it was most years.
Fact or fiction, Eli Manning in no specific year was ever thought of as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Fact or fiction?
That is also fact.
Okay, fact or fiction, Eli Manning for his career is a 500 quarterback. Fact or fiction?
That's also fact.
Okay, so Eli Manning is going to get into the Hall of Fame one day. I'm sure of it, and it'll be a day for Giant fans and the Manning family to celebrate, and good for them. But when you're a 500 quarterback who played how many total years? 14 years in the NFL?
Yes.
I may be off by a year or so.
16 years.
So in 16 years, 14 out of your 16 years, you don't have a single playoff win, meaning you are not a good enough quarterback to take a talented New York Giants team to a playoff win 14 out of your 16 years as a professional. Is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, he only got to the playoffs 6 times in 16 years.
So 4 of the 6 times he made it into the playoffs, he lost in the first round. Now, obviously, those other 2 years were special. Those other 2 years, and one of them was early in his career when his own general manager said publicly, I have a skittish quarterback. That's a direct quote. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, after Ahmad Bradshaw went crazy in Buffalo and ran for 250 yards to get the Giants into the playoffs, they were a wild card team. They went to Tampa, played well, they won. They went to Dallas, played well, they won. Went to Green Bay, played well, they won. And then, of course, beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But if you look at his breadth of work.
Yeah.
And if his last name was Johnson and not Manning, the debate would be greater. And he would not be a guarantee to be in.
Now, to balance that, though, you do have to admit that he threw for 57,000 yards.
Let's do the accolades.
57,000 yards.
57,000 yards, which when he retired, he was top 7, I think.
Right. I think he's still 10 or 11 now, but he's been passed.
And I don't care what happened after. Let's judge him fairly. The day he retired, he was, I think, top 7, but he was top 10 for sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Now, 4,000 yards became the standard.
Yes, it did.
When, along there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different seasons with 4,000 yards
so
or
stop
more.
there. So less than half of his seasons as a pro, he threw for more than 4,000 yards.
Right, but earlier in his career, that was not the standard. It became the standard, and he rose to the occasion in that way. That has to count for something.
Now, do you? I think you give him credit, and I will. I think his durability should be considered.
Absolutely.
The guy did not miss a single game until they made the brain-dead decision to have Geno Smith start in a game and then brought him back the very next week to start after ruining his streak. And it wasn't the kind of streak that Josh Allen has where he'd go into the game, take one snap, and then leave and say, my streak stays.
Yeah.
To Eli Manning's credit, I don't believe he ever did that.
No.
Eli Manning played football.
He would at least play till halftime. At least.
Yeah.
Play till halftime.
But I mean,
all
the guy
time.
played. His streak's a real streak.
Oh, yeah, it was a real streak.
His Iron Man streak is really one that's never going to be broken if someone does it the right way.
Yeah,
so
now. But then there's another couple things.
Hey, man.
Only one time All-Pro and only 4 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders is only 3 short of Eli. Shedeur is only 3 short of Eli. Eli got 4. Shedeur has 1.
I mean, he does.
You have to put that into the mix. He also led the league in interceptions 3 different times, and not just when he was a rookie.
Yeah.
3 different times he led the NFL in
that
interceptions.
counts. I agree.
It all goes in there. So
Yes.
But if you add it all up.
He's a borderline Hall of Famer.
No,
but
he's not
gonna
borderline.
get
No,
in.
he's not borderline.
Look, by the way, I
He's
want to
not
be clear. I'm not going to fight against it. If I had to vote, there'd come a day 5 years from now, 7 years from now, when I was in a really good mood, and I was like, you know what? Let's put Eli Manning in.
No.
But I'm telling you, if his last name was Carton or Johnson, or I'll do you better, Kleinberg.
Oh, he'd definitely get it as Kleinberg.
That's a fair point.
Because
he'd be the Jewish savior.
The implication.
He'd be Sid Luckman.
Two Super Bowls?
Yes.
I mean, come on.
You give me a Jewish starting quarterback with 2 Super Bowls, that guy goes right to the head of the class.
I mean, no disrespect.
Matter of fact, I wouldn't even wait the 5 years. I'd put him in right away.
His mom was fighting against the plan, and he overcame all of that?
I'd put him in while he's still playing. If I had a Jewish quarterback that won 2 Super Bowl MVPs, I'd break all the rules for that guy. But yeah, look, he's going to get in. But what's interesting about it is you can make a very solid argument on both sides and not be a jackass. Like, you can argue against it, and you have legitimate arguing points.
You do.
You can argue for it, and you have legitimate arguing points.
Yes.
It's not a crazy conversation or debate to have. That being said, one day he will get in, and we will congratulate him. Not today, though.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show with.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those 3 dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, we're back. You may have heard me say that I'm sensitive to something. It's called working in 36-degree temperatures indoors. I wish I could show you what's going on out here. There's dudes with ladders.
Yeah.
By the way, they're not trying to fix the heat. There's like 2 doors that lead to an outdoor deck. We're actually broadcasting inside a restaurant, which is inside a hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And on Monday, we were told that Sunday there was a pipe burst and it flooded our control room and our studio.
Yeah.
So they tried to fix that. There's no water. And then they told me, and this is a new one for me, that because a water pipe burst, they couldn't bring heat in because the heat comes in through the heated water. But the last time I checked, you have a boiler for that. And as soon as you fix the pipe, that water is able to travel.
Yeah.
So the heat should have been fixed as soon as the pipe was fixed, right? Now they're telling me it's a bad compressor.
Yeah.
So it'll be Tyrone Solo tomorrow. Like, at some point, you have to have some self-respect to put your foot down. So
Yes, well,
good luck to you working from home tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do it. Well, you know, that's why you have the setup just in case. Because we want to provide the
I
people
don't have
with
a home
program.
setup.
You don't have the
I
home
also don't have
setup.
7 homes Like you have the choice of which home do I broadcast from. I don't have that luxury, so.
Man, I got
which home did you choose?
I'm super stressed out. My regular home, the other ones are rentals. I got somebody checking in a few hours.
Is that right?
Yeah, I got to have somebody go down there and check.
You better have some heat.
Yeah, well, there's heat. I got to check if there's any salt on the steps. One place is upstairs.
So the sweepstakes for Giannis has apparently come down to 4 teams. Now, if you listened to me on the radio, you would have heard the best basketball insider in America, Basketball Jones, announce that he thought the Heat, the Knicks, Golden State, and Atlanta were legitimate suitors. You were on Atlanta. I wasn't. So I give you credit for that. So Basketball Jones reported that on my radio show yesterday. But today, Shams comes out and says that Basketball Jones was right.
Yeah.
How about that?
No, that's good. That was definitely good work by him.
So what I'm saying is the Miami Heat, the New York Knicks, the Golden State Warriors, and I'm blocking on the 4th team. I don't think it was the Hawks after all.
Well, was it the Raptors?
The Toronto Raptors maybe. Whatever. There's apparently 4 teams now that are the finalists for the Giannis sweepstakes.
You know, this is the thing. 3 of them for sure must involve the 3rd team.
The Knicks are one of those.
The Knicks are one of them.
I think the Heat are one of those as well.
Yes. The thing about the Warriors, because they have Jimmy Butler's contract, and that plays a role in this, and because the one smart thing they've done is they kept all their assets as far as tradable assets.
Right, let me just real quick explain that. So, like, take the Knicks. The New York Knicks, if they wanted to do a trade just directly with Milwaukee and include first-round draft picks in it, they couldn't do that until after the NBA Finals are over and the new basketball business year starts.
Right.
So they want to wait. And if Milwaukee wants to wait, yes, the New York Knicks could say, here's Karl Anthony Towns, 2 first-round draft picks, let's go. That's not on the table if the deal gets done before the end of this season or the February 5th trade deadline.
Right.
The Golden State Warriors can make a trade of picks by February 5th.
Right. That's the one area where they've done some mismanagement with the end of Curry's run, but they have not mismanaged their assets in that way. They have them all, and they can make that trade right away.
I just don't think they have the talent, though, to trade.
No, unless
even if you give them Kuminga,
unless they love Kuminga. But if you look at what happened with the OKC trade when they got SGA, there is no SGA right now available basically from anybody. So the closest thing they can do is get the assets. The Warriors can give those long out assets that these teams seem to like to copy.
So the Knicks can give them better current NBA talent.
Absolutely.
I think better than any team of the 4 that are I guess, still in talks.
Unless people really like Barnes with the Raptors. Some people do. Some people really like Barnes.
Yeah, but not for Giannis, right?
I mean, it's if they have their picks and Barnes, there are some people that would say that's a better thing than what the Knicks put on.
And let's be honest, the NBA draft also isn't what it used to be either. Like, to guarantee a star in the NBA draft beyond the 10th pick is a major, major guessing game. Like, you and I grew up in an era where almost, I would say, 3/4 of the first-round draft picks had 7 to plus year careers in the NBA.
Yes.
That ain't the case anymore.
It's not, but
the talent has been really liquidated down.
But
watered down.
It's been watered down. It has been, but the assets of those picks still matter a lot. So while people, because of the cost control, so people still want the picks, not just for the players, which you have to get a couple stars, but also how much they cost for 5 years. And in this new CBA, that's gold.
Couple other news and notes for you. It's Ron basketball. Stay with basketball. The Lakers got pimp slapped last night by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everyone was excited, though, for the Lakers because Bronny James actually dunked the basketball. And I think he had a career high. I think he had 8 points.
Yeah, made a couple threes.
In garbage time. They were down 40.
Shot 100%.
And then Cleveland had stopped playing defense. They had their G League team out there, which is why he was able to actually get a steal and a breakaway dunk. And people were celebrating like he had actually done something.
He did.
But LeBron James, after the game, was asked about the possibility of this being his last game ever in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that is Cleveland actually put a video, like a tribute video, for him.
Yeah.
And let me just get to that 1 second. Because I don't mind a good tribute video when well-deserved. I do mind a tribute video when you do it for a guy that you should be pissed at, not celebrating.
What?
LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers not once, but twice. If I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, I ain't giving you no video. You screwed me. You left me at the altar.
The championship?
With a ring in my pocket, hoping to marry you. And you walked out on me not once, and then I took your sorry ass back, and you left me again.
He won a championship. This hate has
You
got to
ain't
stop.
getting no video from me.
No, you got to do better with this hate right now.
Yeah.
This is what I'm starting to wonder if Knicks fans have a problem. Maybe this is why you guys haven't had the prosperity that you
the
deserve.
Knicks.
No, it is.
Cavaliers
it's about your
embarrassed
bad
themselves
attitude.
last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would do a video of
Yeah.
if Ron got you a championship. You don't know nothing about titles. They do.
Yeah.
He got them a title. That's
left
why your
them
action is
twice.
worth. Yeah, but he provided a title. He provided finals appearances. Neither of which the Knicks know anything
By the way,
about.
he
The
only
Knicks
got
don't know
that.
anything about that.
He only got that title because Kyrie Irving's got ice in his veins and can make a big shot.
He led the series in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Him, all of it.
Yeah.
He led the series, both teams, and all those stats.
Yeah.
This level of hate is not healthy. I'm worried about you. I hope you get your blood work
No
done
Kyrie,
every 6 months.
no title.
You need to go to the doctor.
That's how that works.
This kind of hate is not good.
Anyway,
You'll develop a disease.
so they did a tribute video for him because they still, get on their knees when he walks into the building. And then LeBron said afterwards, because I'm convinced LeBron's doing the year-long, farewell tour, because that's what he wants. It's all about him, the narcissistic guy that he is. And he said after the game, he goes, it could have been my last game in Cleveland. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, you have. You're coming back because you want the tour. You want the gifts. You want the adulation. Ugh.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Just the fear that we had going on. And the players obviously were paid $10,000 to $30,000 per fix. But what this does is it hits at the core of the identity in the sport, especially in the modern day betting era.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to the Frigid Craig Carton Show. For the third day out of 4, we are dealing with sub 40-degree temperatures in our studio today, but I lead from the front, as I said. We show up for work, we do our jobs. Tomorrow, I'm taking off. That being said, did you see the story in Denver?
Yeah.
Which is getting a lot of play right now, and I'm loving it. So Sean Payton had a little press conference, I guess it's after he decided to scapegoat his offensive coordinator for his decision to not kick the field goal and go up 10-0. And he was talking about Bo Nix's ankle, because if you remember the play that I guess he broke the ankle on, it was kind of a nondescript little, scoot out to the left.
Yeah.
Didn't get hit hard, came up limping a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we found out after the game that he's got a broken ankle. So Sean Payton says yesterday that when the doctors went in to repair the ankle, put screws and plates in, whatever it was, right, that they found a lot more than they expected. And he said that the operating physician told him. Matter of fact, I think we have video. Do we not?
We do.
All right, so we just play it. So here's Sean Payton, his words, not mine, on what happened when the doctors went in to operate on Bo Nix's ankle. Go ahead.
He said he had one in high school, and then he said he had one at Auburn. And I said, I didn't realize that. I said, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have drafted you.
I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that.
So it's crazy. So now you have a problem between the head coach and the franchise quarterback.
Yep.
So the doctors, just to finish up my part of it, the doctors said when they went in, they found more than they expected than just a basic kind of garden variety ankle break.
Yeah.
Okay, and they said that based on what they saw, it was a guarantee that he was going to break his ankle. Their words, not mine. Sooner than later.
Right.
That's how fragile, I guess, his ankle was. What none of us knew, and obviously neither did Sean Payton, is that in high school he had ankle surgery, in college he had ankle surgery, and now, of course, in the pros, he's having ankle surgery. So Bo Nix is like, yo, time out, coach. You don't have the right to publicly talk about my previous operations. And you don't even know about my previous operation.
And you don't know what the specifics of, I had a surgery. What, why? What for? Is this related at all? You don't have any of that actual information.
Correct. Now, when you go to draft a guy, you get a full report on a guy.
They saw the medicals.
But, I'm assuming if you do have an injury in high school and you get accepted to play ball in college, they're going to ask you about it.
Right.
Hey, have you ever had any major surgeries or anything we should be aware of? But that doesn't mean they did. Also doesn't mean you didn't lie about it.
Right.
So it's interesting.
But the Auburn one was well known if they checked.
Yes.
Because that's a SEC
Major
school where he's
program.
the starter for SEC school.
I think you have a real problem now between Bo Nix and Sean Payton, because Bo's like, by the way, don't talk about my previous surgeries without talking to me about it first, right? I don't appreciate that. And you have no idea what I've done. So now I'm thinking Bo Nix has had other surgeries too, and we just don't know about it.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't fully buy it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't, but I think what I've always thought, Sean Payton is a very good coach.
Yeah.
I also think he's a world-class jerk. I believed it when he was with the Saints. I believe it now.
So I think that's probably fair. He's also very sensitive.
Right. How is antagonizing in any way your starting quarterback after firing his OC? Because I'm sure they had some rapport. You fire his OC, and then you start to antagonize him. How's that help you win?
Yeah, and by the way, why would you fire Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator, when you're the guy calling plays?
You call plays.
And the combination of you two guys clearly worked. Bo Nix had a good season.
You're the 1 seed.
Right, you're the 1 seed. And Bo Nix is not the reason you lost the game.
No.
Obviously, him not being there obviously would have helped you, and you probably would have won the game. But it's just weird to me. And I think, some people try to be funny who aren't funny. But when a non-funny person tries to be funny, they usually give you some type of uncomfortable laughter when they tell a joke they think is funny.
Right.
We have it all the time, like with Ryan downstairs. All right, or Ethan, who laughs at his own jokes. It's like, let the audience tell you you're funny by them laughing.
Right.
If you tell a joke and nobody laughs but you, it wasn't funny.
Right.
If you go back and watch that again, I don't think Sean Payton's joking.
I agree.
Sean Payton said, if I had known about the previous surgeries or the fact that, according to the doctors, it was inevitable, you were guaranteed to break that ankle again, I never would have drafted you. I don't even think he's going for the laugh.
I don't think so either.
Watch it one more time real quick. Play it again, guys, real fast.
He said he had one in high school, and then he said he had one at Auburn. And I said, I didn't realize that. I said, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have drafted you.
I don't think he really should share how many surgeries
Stop it
I've had
now.
in the past.
So
He didn't laugh.
does.
The crowd laughs.
But because the ass-kissing reporter's like, Sean Payton's so funny.
Right.
He kind of gives you like the uncomfortable deep breathing, like he thinks it's funny, but it ain't funny.
It ain't funny.
Yeah.
No. Why are you messing with the quarterback?
Trouble in Denver. Trouble in Denver. And that's what happens when the coach doesn't want to take responsibility for mismanaging the AFC Championship game and costing the Broncos and their fans a trip to the Super Bowl. You could blame Sean Payton and only Sean Payton for why you're not playing next Sunday. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. So funny. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Have a great day.
Just the fear that we had going on And the players obviously were paid $10,000 to $30,000 per fix. But what this does is it hits at the core of the identity in the sport, especially in the modern day betting era.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Basically, my co-host on Game Time Decisions, Josh Doan, is featured so much. And I also want to say this basically now confirms we are the premier Josh Doan network in all of sports media. No way no other show mentions Josh Doan as much as this one. Is that a success? Is that a failure? I don't know, but I think it's true.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.